Well, Georg, we've had a whistle-stop tour of the book. Now let's get to the final chapter, Altrocentric leadership. Tell me about that.
Altrocentric leadership is a new concept of leadership that we have come up with as a consequence of the megatrend analysis, because it was very clear, that the, say, traditional concept of leadership will not work in light of the megatrend storm. Especially, the cliche of the superhero alpha male leader who leads the pack and dominates and that way of leading wants to run his organization will not work anymore. So we did some analysis of leadership theory, and then in light of the megatrend we came up with a concept which is much more focusing on the other. And that's why we call it altrocentric, which is the opposite of egocentric. Yeah? The leader of the future will only be successful if he works with and through others, much more than in the past, for many different reasons. And some of the reasons are that, the megatrend challenge is so overwhelming, it's so big, that it's just too big for one individual. The strategic challenge and all the other challenges that come up cannot be coped with by one individual. So the altrocentric leader is a person that is characterized by many different features that we in detail elaborate on in the book. He has to have inner strength, he has to have empathy with other people, will have a very value-driven approach to leadership, but especially knows how to make meaning in an organization. So create a narrative together with the people in this organization to really build identity for and with people in the organization. And he will create a space that we call a bounded autonomy. So he will give as much autonomy to people as possible, of course within specific limits, because otherwise he wouldn't be an organization anymore. But this autonomy is absolutely crucial. To develop the power you need to have as an organization, as a group of people, to cope with the megatrends. And that's the new concept of leadership that we develop, and that we also already implement with some organizations in order to cope with the megatrends.
In terms of your take on leadership, how have you seen it change?
Well, I think, as Georg said, that there definitely is a recognition in organizations of the need for this. How successful people are at making that shift. A lot of it comes down to their self-image and how they actually view themselves as a leader. And that's one of the really critical things for leaders to recognize, that actually that they're no longer having to kind of pull the whole organization behind them, that actually they need to be doing that meaning making, doing that piece of seeing themselves as a leader who does things through others. And that's one of the critical shifts that I think we're starting to see seep into organizations and into leaders.
So this is a clear evolution of leadership.
Absolutely. I think the essence of it in many ways hasn't changed, because leadership has always been a relational thing, but the need for it is stronger than ever. That situation is really demanding it, and therefore organizations are putting more pressure on leaders to adopt those kind of behaviors.